run the program with no weight loss. Grind 25/8 with no days off. I go get it, you wait and hope it pays off. We grinding 25/8.
As 2019 draws to a close, PlayStation has given us 2 more free games to play in December. They were made available December 3rd and will be available to download all the way up to January 6, 2020. The first game we're going to be looking at is Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. And it came out originally February 13th, 2018, and it's developed and published by Milestone. And they make other games similar to this. They make the ride games and the MotoGP games. Basically, off-road type motorcycle racing games. I have never played any of their other games. This is the first game I played of theirs. And yeah, it's not looking too good. Let's first look at the single-player campaign. So the very first thing that happens when you start up the game is it puts you in a tutorial that's not really a tutorial. It's just a race. It says, win the race, and it has the controls on the side. Now, normally what happens in a game that you need to be familiar with the controls to do well is it will have some sort of tutorial that helps you learn what to do in certain situations, how best to handle different situations. Like, for instance, in hockey, there's the training camp, teaches you how to pass, like different passes, different types of shots, just different things that you can do to progress better in the game. I've seen the same in different racing games. For instance, Gran Turismo has the licensing that teaches you different techniques. You have to learn those techniques in order to progress. This has none of that. It just tells you what the controls are. Go. There's different obstacles in the races, and if you're not a Supercross fan, you might not know how to best handle these different types of jumps, and you're not going to do well if you don't know what to do. And it should give you some way of knowing, so that it's accessible to people other than Supercross fans, like other game genres do, to help get people into their games. But, that's what I think they should have done, but they didn't. After completing this race, and you go to start your career, your single-player career, you have to first create your rider. You put the rider's name, the nickname that's going to be on the back of their outfit, their number. It could be any number from 1 to 999, excluding any numbers that's already taken by another rider in the game. And then you choose your bike. Now, for your bike, you got 6 choices. You pick a 250 bike, and there's only 6 different models that you can choose. 450 bikes are unlocked later in the game. Now, with the controls, I'm not a fan of them. They're very inconsistent. Sometimes the handling feels a little bit tighter than other times, and other times it's like really loose feeling, and it's not consistent whatsoever. The only thing that I liked about the controls were the fact that, with the controls changing, you're gonna mess up. And to help with this in single player, it's got a rewind button. So you can rewind, maybe change the angle of your jump, or, slow down before a jump so you don't land hard on a bump coming up or something like that. You have a little bit of time to adjust if you do something wrong and lose your lead or something. Then, that you can do. Now, I'm not a fan of this genre, but I'm not a stranger to it either. I have played, the ATV Off-Road Fury games. I've played the ATV versus MX series. I also played Reflex. That was a Supercross game. Now, again, I'm not a fan of this type of game, but I have played them in the past, and out of all the off-road Supercross games, this is my least favorite out of all of them. There are other features in the game as well. There's the track editor, for instance. It unlocks at level 4. When I passed level 4, I went to go into the track editor. because I unlocked it. I wanted to see what it was like. See the whole game, different aspects of the game. I click on it, and it cannot connect to server. I tried it again. Cannot connect to server. So, you know, they put different things in this game, but they're not accessible. And that's a real shame. It doesn't feel like a complete experience when playing this game. Now let's look at the multiplayer. Yeah, it's a broken mess. I went to do a couple races, and first race I went into, it took a while to get into, but I finally got into a game. Your character and other characters on screen are constantly clipping, so it's really bad looking. At the beginning, you're in a big group, and the group's going around a turn, and there's one guy somehow floating 5 feet in the air on top of other riders, which didn't make any sense. I was going up a jump at one point, and there's nobody around me. All of a sudden, another guy's motorcycle just like materializes inside my motorcycle on like a 90-degree angle, and my bike starts convulsing with the other bike, and then all of a sudden I'm on the ground with my bike and the other guy is driving off. It made no sense, and it's just broken. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden people just appear out of like they're not there, and then they're like right in front of you. It's not a good experience. And then I went to go into my second game, and I waited about 20 minutes before I gave up and turned it off. It's just terrible. Like, I was going to continue with more races after my first race, and again, I was dropped by the server. There are no stable connections in this game, and it is the only game that I've been having an issue with. I have a stable PS4 connection. It is plugged in directly into my modem, so I don't know what is wrong, but it's not my internet connection, it is this game. So, looking at this game from a non-Supercross fan's perspective, you're not going to like it if you're not a Supercross fan. Looking at it from a gamer perspective, if you like video games, you're not going to like this video game. It is bad. The controls are no good, it is not friendly to newcomers, and the multiplayer is completely broken. Next up, we have Titanfall 2, and this originally released in late October 2016. So, Titanfall 2 is developed by Respawn Entertainment, and it is published by EA. And they make games nowadays, such as Apex Legends, and the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In Titanfall 2, you play a pilot, which is somebody that pilots a Titan, which is a big mech warrior machine. The first thing you do when you start the game is an actual tutorial. It teaches you all the controls you need to know, wall running, shooting, all the basic, sliding, all the basic moves that you need to know, everything that you need to know right off the bat. Now, while you progress through the story, and there are new things that you need to know and learn while playing through the story, it tells you these things. There's prompts that come up on the screen so that you don't get stuck not knowing exactly what to do. When there's difficult terrain that you have to navigate, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, it actually has a ghost that you can activate that will show you what to do in case you get stuck. I find that this is very helpful, especially if you're new to the series or you're just not sure where it expects you to go. It's just helpful. Now, I also think that the controls are really well done, and the combat is very good. I really enjoyed the combat. When you're not in your Titan, you're a complete badass. You got all these different gadgets, and it's just a really fun shooter. And then when you get in your Titan, it's even better. Then you're a complete badass, just in a big mech machine, just crushing people and fighting other mech machines and just blowing them to bits. It's a great experience. Very fun game. Good story. Single player campaign, A+. In the single player campaign, there's also customization for your Titan, which makes it a better experience as well, because now you've got multiple options for tackling situations. There's different weapons that you pick up while you go through the game for the Titan. You start off with like a machine gun, then you get like a rifle, grenade launcher, different weapons. Some that are better against multiple opponents, some that are better against, one opponent at a time, some weapons that are more geared toward taking out other Titans. There's just a multitude of different weapons that you can equip on your Titan to handle different situations better. Alright, now let's look at the multiplayer. It's very similar to, say, a Call of Duty game. More like Advanced Warfare, I would say, where you have more abilities than a normal person, like you're wall running and rappelling up to the roofs, and you're cloaking so you're going invisible. You have a jetpack so you can jump further distances and stuff. So it's not like a traditional first-person shooter, like realistic one. And then on top of that, you've got your Titan that you can call on a couple times per match, and it's very interesting. You got your two main weapons that you use. One that's good against other players, like your assault rifle or whatever. Then you've also got your anti-Titan weapon that is very effective against Titans. I've actually taken out other Titans with a Titan. I've taken out Titans without a Titan using those weapons. It's not a one-shot, but at least you have a fighting chance, because those Titans are tough. The easiest way to take out a Titan is in another Titan, but then, again, your Titan, if you're fighting a Titan, you're going to take a lot of damage. And I think it's balanced in that way. So, it's a different experience, but I think it's a great experience. It's a first-person shooter, not only as a normal person, but also in your Titan, which is, I like it. It's different, and it is very enjoyable. They did a very good job on this game. Alright guys, there's my review. Monster Energy Supercross, not a great game. Titanfall 2, I think it's amazing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're going to play these games, if you've already played them, I would like to know. And, in case I don't put out another video before Christmas, have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video later.